Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and today I am going to be going through my current top 35 of this year's upcoming edition of the ESC, which, as we all know, will take place in a few weeks' time in Vienna, Austria. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. I am going to try and get through this at a pretty swift pace, so if I do stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies for that. Of course, it goes without saying, what with this being a ranking video, if you are quite disappointed at where I have ranked a certain country or two, that does not necessarily mean that I really dislike that particular nation's entry. It just is what it is. Rankings are just a bit of fun. I have seen videos such as this one so many times in the past, going back many, many years, and I have seen some comments such as, "You have no taste in music, your ranking is awful, what a bad video, I've never seen something so bad," etc, etc. You know what I'm on about here. Some people really do get quite upset with where certain countries might be in a particular individual's ranking. It is not that serious, and of course it goes without saying, we are still several weeks away from this year's Vienna staged event. My ranking probably will change somewhat over the next couple of weeks, and then at the end of May into June I will go through all of the songs again, watch all of the performances again, and I will go through my ranking again, and then at some point I will say to myself, enough, I am signing this off, it is now somewhat final, and I will take what I have, stick it into my huge spreadsheet document which I have had for years and I update every year, and then I will say, that's it, let's move swiftly on. So what I'm telling you now is absolutely subject to change. However, the top 6 probably will stay exactly as it is. Usually, once I have my winner several weeks in advance of a Eurovision Song Contest taking place, it doesn't really change. Anyway, let's now go through this, and like I said, I am going to try and get through this as swiftly as I can to avoid this video being far too long. So, here we go. Should also say, feel free to let me know your top 35 in the comments below, and indeed, if you exclude 1 or 2 or more countries from your own ranking of this year's entries, I have no issue with that whatsoever. But this is indeed a complete top 35 ranking. I have heard all of these songs, that is for sure. My number 35 of the year is probably the only song that we can definitely say is dead on arrival heading into next month's competition. It's Azerbaijan, Jiva Just Go. This is so unremarkable. She's not a bad singer, but the song is so predictable and bland and massively forgettable. It is also incredibly uncompetitive. And Azerbaijan have totally lost their way at Eurovision over the past few years. I don't really know what's happened, but this is another really quite disappointing effort. It stands no chance of progression, in my opinion. There is a rock version of this song on YouTube, which is far better than the version that I think is definitely going to be heard and seen on the Eurovision stage in Vienna next month, which is this rather slow, somewhat dreary ballad. Everything about it is not really living too long in the memory, I think it's fair to say. Which sounds harsh, but that's just how I feel about it. My number 35 is Azerbaijan. My number 34 is San Marino, and this has what I like to think of as a bit of a fatal flaw, something I've mentioned on my channel previously. This is Senate, with possibly Boy George, who was big in the 80s, of course, with Superstar. This is an up-tempo song, which is remarkably unremarkable. And when you have a fairly upbeat tune and it's not really doing anything brand new or exciting or dynamic, and it's not really getting a lot of positive comments going its way from Eurovision fans, you're in trouble. It's a fatal flaw. I would be absolutely gobsmacked, absolutely open-mouthed, if this song made the final. Boy George pops up for no reason whatsoever, and honestly, when I heard this song for the first time, I thought, that's not Boy George, that's an AI system imitating Boy George's voice. Honestly, that's what I thought, and part of me still thinks that. But anyway, Senate, she's having a good time on stage. She is not a bad vocalist. The fact that this song won San Marino's national selection, I don't want to say it was rigged, but my word, it's a bit stinky. And she's obviously represented San Marino previously, back in 2011, with Stand By in Dusseldorf, which was not a qualifier, but it would have been a jury qualifier, had it been a 100% jury vote. Then she came back with Freaky, I believe it was, in 2020, but the contest was cancelled. That wouldn't have qualified anyway. And then she came back with Flow Rider, of all people, a year later with Adrenalina. And a lot of Eurovision fans, when they first heard that, were very, very excited. And then when the contest took place in Rotterdam that year, barely anybody voted for it for some reason. And now she's back, and San Marino are probably going to be going home after the first semi-final. My number 33 of the year at this moment in time is Portugal. This is an all-male group, Bandidos Tocante with Rosa. Here's another bit of a stinky situation, because FDC, loads of the artists, pretty much all of them, said if we win this event, we will not go to Eurovision. And it just so happens that one of the artists who said yes, we would go to Eurovision, won FDC. What are the chances of that? This is a really nice song. I've said it before. It's very soothing, calming, lovely, pleasant to listen to. It is a real moment of pause and reflection in that first semi-final. The first half of the first semi-final this year is full of quite expressive and somewhat lively tunes. This is a 3-minute languid moment of peace, for want of a better phrase. It's really nice. Portugal are on a hot streak with qualification at the moment. I feel as though they were a little bit lucky last year to make it out of the first semi-final. This year, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't mind it, but I can't rank it any higher, and it's also not terribly competitive. My number 32 is Israel. This is Noram Betan with Michelle. I've heard it all the way through once. We all know what's going to happen here. He only has to breathe on stage, and he's probably going to get 250 points plus from the public. A massively inflated score once again. We all know why. I would say that this is better than Israel's previous two efforts. It's a little bit more up-tempo, but that's not really saying much. I don't think it's terribly competitive. And although I've heard this all the way through once, I feel as though I could hear this all the way through 5, 6, 7 plus times and still not really remember it, truth be told. I'm not just saying that to be harsh, I'm saying that because that's how I really feel. Yeah, I don't know. Certainly this could win if some of the other major favourites slip up for whatever reason. But if this doesn't win, then you've got to expect it to be in the top 3 of the public half of the results in the final, for reasons we are all very much aware. I have nothing else to say about it. I think it is, I use this word again, fairly unremarkable. My number 31 of the year is Latvia. Wish I liked this a little bit more. This is a haunting, very beautiful, slow-paced tune. It's At Vara with Enna. And Latvia qualified last year, did quite well. Qualified the year before that against the odds, didn't do too badly in the final, all things considered. This is a real dark horse. The juries might absolutely love it. Her voice is sensational. There's this cover version of Fly on the Wings of Love on YouTube that she did, and it was one of the best Eurovision covers I've heard in a long, long time. So beautiful. The staging is probably going to be similar to what we had at Supernova. Fairly effective, I would say. But I just don't know if this is going to get enough love, especially from the public. My number 31, Latvia. My number 30 is Poland. Here we have a classic example of a very fine singer with a rather lackluster entry. The song is called Pray. Alicja was going to represent Poland in 2020, but the contest was cancelled. She was in the Polish national final a few years ago, didn't win. Now she's getting her chance. She's a beautiful woman with a great, great voice. There's no doubt about it. Her vocals are really quite impressive. However, this song is a big disappointment. I don't think it flows very well. It's a little bit disjointed. It's not really sure what it wants to be. It's sort of pop with R&B type elements, I guess. I don't know how this is going to be staged. I don't think it's really going to stand out a great deal. Her voice, points, potentially from the juries, who are back in the semi-finals, of course. And although Poland has pals, bit of a diaspora, that sort of thing, will that be enough in the public half of the results to see this song through. Maybe, maybe not. I remember back in 2015, the last time the contest was in Vienna, in the second semi-final we had Monika Kuzinska with In the Name of Love, which is by an absolute mile one of the most boring Eurovision songs in existence, in my personal opinion. Good Lord, that song is enough to send you into a very deep sleep. And somehow that song did quite well in the public half of the results that year, and didn't do too badly in the public half of the results in the final. And wow, yeah, I'm going off on a tangent there, but that's an example of Poland getting a very, very generous score indeed. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but you never know. You never know. It's not bad, but I'm not loving it at all. My number 30 is Poland. My number 29 is Ukraine. Well, Ukraine only have to say hi, have 300 points. That literally is pretty much what it's like most years for Ukraine. They've never not qualified for the final. This is Leleka with Rydnim. This is really quite nice. Instrumentally, I'm really enjoying it, but everything else I'm fairly indifferent about, to be honest with you. I know that this is a song that I'm not really going to gravitate towards much after the contest is over. I think we're going to get a very beautiful live performance. Vocally, it's going to be really very pleasant indeed. We know this is going to do very, very well, because Ukraine usually do, but I can't rank it much higher than 29th, and I have little else to say about it. It's as simple as that. A lot of points are going to go that song's way. And I think I will appreciate it more once Eurovision is over and done with. My number 20... No, I've messed up there. My number 28, Lithuania. There's been a revamp, which I think I heard the other day. It said ESC version that I was listening to. And I thought it was all right. The original is all right. This is Lion Seeker, a very striking performer with silver makeup, with Solo Quiero Más. This song does have a little bit of rhythm to it. It does find its feet and then start chugging along, I suppose, which I appreciate. But the whole package, I don't really know how to feel about it. I think casual viewers might be really confused by what this song is on about, and indeed the presentation of this song. I think they're going for something quite artistic and peculiar and intriguing, but whether it's really going to work well next month, I just don't know. Lithuania usually qualify for the final. They certainly have some voting pals. Lithuania could send, I don't know, a cow on stage for 3 minutes, and the UK would probably give it 8, 10 or 12 points because of the diaspora vote. So yeah, Lithuania does have voting chums, but I would say this is maybe Lithuania's least interesting entry for a good few years, least competitive entry for a good few years. It's not bad, but I can't rank it higher than number 28. My number 27 is Albania. This is Alice with Nan. Great vocalist. Really smashing vocals here. A lot of power. A sort of simmering malice almost to this song. It's very beautiful. We had the revamp. Very nice. But this is a similar situation for me with Albania. I'm just very so-so with my opinions on their entries, and I really can't say much more than that. Might qualify, might finish in a very respectable position in the final, but not nearly as high as last year's Albanian entry, that's for sure. My number 27 this year so far, could change, is Albania. My number 26, it's the host nation Austria. This is Tanzschein by Cosmo. The Austrian national final was pants. It really wasn't that good. God only knows why they had a national final. This was the winner of it. It's okay, quite quirky, quite cool. I suppose there's a little element of humour to this as well. First-time listeners might find it quite cheeky and silly, but enjoy it for what it is. This is closing the grand final. I don't think it's a great closer of a grand final at all, but it is what it is. It was drawn at random, of course, several weeks ago. I think this is really going to struggle. Like with San Marino a tiny bit, this is an up-tempo song that actually isn't that remarkable at all. And although the crowd will definitely cheer big for this because it's the host nation's entry, I just don't know if this is going to get a great deal of love from all corners of the continent. As such, a disappointing result in the final is likely. My number 26 is Austria. My number 25 is Serbia. People love this. It is Lavina with Kraj Mene. I absolutely can appreciate this style of music, metal stuff. I've heard plenty of it in the past, going back years and years and years. Absolutely, I can appreciate this sound. It is not overly aggressive. I would say it's fairly accessible. Definitely the final third is a little bit more in your face, if you see what I mean. I really don't know how this is going to do. Serbia will get points from surrounding nations, of that there is no doubt. Maybe a 3 here, a 4 there. It all adds up. If we're being realistic, this is probably going to finish mid-table in the final, which would not be a bad result considering Serbia didn't qualify last year with Mila by Prince, the guy being dragged along the stage floor, I'm sure you remember, in Basel. Yeah, this is fine. I'm glad we have a song like this in this year's lineup. It's almost certainly going to qualify from the first semi-final. It's closing that Tuesday night show. The staging is going to be similar to what we had at the national final. Fair enough. Dramatic, dark, moody, ominous, any other synonym you can think of. Yeah, this is going to do all right for itself, but I can't rank it much higher than 25th at this moment in time. My number 24 is Georgia. Yeah, I'm very, very indifferent about this one as well. Former junior Eurovision winners Bzikebi with On Replay. It's a trio. Music video's fine. It's fairly catchy. I don't remember anything about the verses really, and I've heard it a few times now. The staging could be quite intriguing, could be quite lively. But I really am on the fence about this one. I really don't know if it's going to qualify or not. Georgia's record over the past few years is not that great. And I've not really seen a lot of Eurovision fans say that they absolutely love this one. And I know Eurovision fans make up a tiny percentage of people who will watch in May. But the signs for this track doing quite well for itself maybe aren't wholly positive. However, it's not a bad song. It's my number 24 of the year. My number 23 is Norway. Norway's national final was a little bit whiffy, it has to say, not the best. I thought Alexander Rybak was going to come along, smile, and that would be it. He was the runner-up, behind Jonas Love with Ya Ya Ya. Great singer, quite a bit of charisma on display. That helps. The confidence, let it shine through. That could result in some points going his way, that's for sure. This is closing the second semi-final, which is not a bad thing at all. Could even open the grand final if this qualifies and gets drawn in the first half. I think it will get the crowd fired up a little bit, and I'm not too sure about the key change right at the end. Everything about this is almost bang on the money for me, but it's not quite getting there. And as such, I'm left feeling rather let down, to be honest with you. I don't know how else to phrase it. My number 23 of the year is Norway, and certainly this might go up my ranking rather than down. My number 22 is Armenia. This is one of several songs this year by a solo male performer which can be described as rowdy, raucous, lively, energetic, etc, etc. This is Simon with Paloma Rumba. He was the runner-up in the Armenian selection a year ago. This song, it is fairly repetitive, you know. It's not really changing as it progresses. Certainly towards the end it becomes a bit more frantic. I think this could be very messy live. If it is, oh dear, that could result in an NQ. But if this actually comes across as very polished, interesting, dynamic, maybe there's some interesting props on stage, recreating the music video a little bit, I don't really know, then this could absolutely cruise through. A lot of people will enjoy it for what it is, but at the same time, I can't see this faring all too well next month. At this moment in time, my number 22 is Armenia. My number 21 is Malta. This is Bella by Aiden, finally getting his chance on the Eurovision stage. This is a really lovely, tender, heartfelt ballad. Recreate the music video on stage for this one and you could be onto something fairly special. But we all know the public just don't really get on board with Malta's tracks for some reason, and that's been the case for years and years and years and years and years. The juries, however, coming back into the semi-finals is a really good thing for Malta. This cannot be ruled out of qualification. It's in with a really good shot. He's going to sing it quite well. It's going to be a very beautiful performance. The juries might absolutely adore this, and even if the public don't, the points from the juries might be enough to see this through, and then in the final, who knows what might happen. It's very nice. I know I'm repeating myself here. I don't think it's going to really trouble, the top 10 necessarily in the final, anything like that at all. But it's certainly a very fine entry. My number 20 of the year is a real dark horse. This is Luxembourg, Ave Maria Mother Nature. So the national final wasn't that brilliant. This was not really fancied by a lot of people until right before the show took place. And in the end, I think this was the right winner. It felt like the most clean, polished, ready for Eurovision performance in many ways. She's not a bad vocalist. She's pretending to play the violin. It's very sweet. There are accusations of plagiarism towards this song. Fair enough, but nothing will be done about that now. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, these types of charming, sweet ditties can really do the business at Eurovision, and I don't think this will be completely dismissed by the viewers. I think the juries might really like this. It's very harmless, it's very accessible, it's a welcome breath of fresh air amongst some of the more crazy type entries we have this year. My number 20, and it probably will go up a few places after Eurovision, is Luxembourg. And let's not forget, they came back 2 years ago and have qualified both times. So they're aiming for a hat-trick of qualifications this time around. My number 19, we're getting there, dear viewers. My number 19 is Belgium. Yeah, this is somewhat underwhelming for me because I usually don't mind Belgium's entries, but they didn't qualify last year. Red Sebastian, you have to say, flopped big time in Basel with strobe lights, even though the performance I thought was very much worthy of a place in the final. And then Musty the year before in Malmö, before the party's over, I thought that was really good. The studio version, top notch. Live, not quite bang on the money, a little bit pitchy in terms of his voice, and it didn't go through. What a great shame. And this year, it's looking like Belgium are going to miss out again with Essila and Dancing on the Ice. This is sort of electro-pop, and I think I said this about one other country earlier on. It's up-tempo. Norway, I think it was. It's almost getting there. It's almost really quite good. But it doesn't reach its potential. It's really lacking. The first time I heard this, the reaction is up on my channel. I thought it was alright, maybe a 6, 7 out of 10. But now I am sort of going off it quite a bit. We've had live performances, they've not been that sensational. I'm really hoping in Vienna it's going to be bang on the money, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I just don't see enough people saying that this is going to be a qualifier. Juries might like it, but that might not be enough. Belgium are in trouble, no doubt about it. The song is not at all dreadful. When this was released, a lot of hate was going its way. For some reason, people were just really dismissive of this track. It isn't that bad. It really isn't. It's my number 19 of the year. My number 18 is Germany. So Germany seemed to be turning a corner last year. Aborrentina with Baller, really good stuff. This time around, playing it far safer. The national final was okay. I'm not sure about the whole voting system they have. But anyway, this is Sarah Engels with Fire. This is straightforward pop, bop type stuff. Lyrically, it's not that sensational. She's a pretty good performer. We know what we're going to get from the live performance here. Flames everywhere, choreo, red lighting, you name it. The crowd will respond warmly to this one, but I think we are all expecting Germany to finish towards the bottom this year. It's not bad, but we all know this type of thing just ain't going to get a huge amount of love when the points start pouring in. My number 18 is Germany. My number 17 is Switzerland. I really think this could end up much higher in my ranking after Eurovision. I want to like it a lot more than I currently do. This is Alice by Veronica Fusaro. Lyrically, very interesting indeed. Some of the most interesting lyrics of this year's competition, no doubt about it. Whether casual viewers in May, first-time listeners and viewers, whether they will really understand what this song is on about, I don't know. I'm interested to see what the staging is going to be like. I think vocally it's going to be fine. Sort of bluesy rock. I don't know. It's not quite holding my interest for the whole 3 minutes. That's the problem. But I can really, really enjoy and appreciate this sound. I think the juries are going to love this, big time, potentially. As for the viewers, maybe not so much. Hopefully it's in the final. Hopefully Switzerland do all right this year after 0 points in the final from the public last year. Disgraceful. My number 17, I don't have much else to say about it. It is a qualifier for me, Switzerland. My number 16 is Italy, so this is arguably Italy's poorest entry for several years, if you want to use that word. This is Sal Da Vinci, a very charismatic, likeable performer, with Per Sempre Sì. The Sanremo version, excellent, because you had the orchestra really giving this song a bit of an extra kick up the backside, making it sound really slick and just fabulous in that theatre. At Eurovision, the orchestra's not there, and I'm not saying that this is going to fall flat on its face, but it might fall a little bit flat on its face. That gusto and vigour that was there a little bit in the Sanremo performance might not come through terribly well in Vienna. That's what I'm expecting might happen. We saw it in 2017 with Francesco Gabbani. I know that was years ago, but that's another example of the Sanremo performance being much better than the Eurovision performance. That might happen again with Sal Da Vinci this time around. It's old school, it's classy, it's enjoyable, it's a fine 3-minute track. A lot of people might really go big for this. It's very difficult to say at this moment in time how well this will fare next month. Could this get 200 points in total? Or will this end up in mid-table with, I don't know, 120 points in total? We'll just have to wait and see. I like him, like his voice. I like how passionately he performs this. And it'll be interesting to see how well this does next month. My number 15 is Moldova, opening the first semi-final, as Moldova did the last time the contest was in Vienna. This is going to do probably very, very well indeed. This could be top 5 in the final with the public. I don't think any of us should be that surprised if it happens. This is Viva Moldova by Satoshi. We know what we're going to get here, something very similar to the Moldovan national final. Lively, energetic, colourful, smoke, fire, pyro, maybe the whole shebang to get the first semi-final going next month. It is fairly repetitive, but you can just get swept along in the melody, I guess. And certainly it's going to stand out a great deal in the first semi-final and in the final. My number 15 is Moldova. My number 14 is Croatia. This is really flying under the radar for me. And now some criticism is starting to go this song's way. They performed in Amsterdam recently. Some people were saying, don't be surprised if this is a shocking cue. I'm thinking to myself, what? The first time I heard this, I thought it could be a jury winner. I'm not thinking that now. But this is one of Croatia's best I think they've had in Eurovision thus far. An all-female group, Andromeda, performed by Lelek. And this is dramatic and otherworldly and mysterious, and yes, okay, there's a cult-like thing going on with this as well, but overall, this is really, really terrific, and hopefully the harmonies are absolutely spot on next month, because I think they need to be, because there is the real possibility that this might not qualify. You know, maybe the public just won't gravitate towards this one for whatever reason, maybe the juries won't adore this, but in all honesty, at this moment in time, yes, I do think it will go through. I think the staging could be really excellent. I think this is really going to stand out because of its sheer power, particularly in the final third. Wonderful stuff. I don't often enjoy Croatia's entries, but I'm really liking this one this year by them. My number 14 is Croatia. My number 13 is my own country, the UK. We are coming for 0 points. I hate to say it, I hate to be negative, but I can really, really see it damn well happening again. This is Look Mum No Computer with 1, 2, 3. This is Blur meets the Chemical Brothers, mashed with God knows what else. It's like electro stuff. There is this pulsating energy to it, particularly as it progresses. There's this exaggerated British accent. There's lots of sort of typical, almost stereotypical things going on in the music video. You know, you've got the baked beans and the digestive biscuit, and he mentions jam roly-poly with custard, or whatever it is. He's a very talented individual. All of the stuff that he does is very impressive, and he's going to be surrounded by equipment on stage, no doubt about it. I don't know how well he's going to sing this live. I really don't know. But the way I view it with this track, we're taking a bit of a risk, which is great. Go big or go home. Throw the damn kitchen sink at this and see what happens. And maybe during the rehearsal period, more people will get on board with this one. It's entirely possible. Once people see the photos and see the rehearsal footage, a lot of people might start saying, actually, you know what? This isn't going to finish last. This isn't going to get 0 points from the public. This might do all right for itself. That's very possible indeed. But we will just have to wait and see. I think the juries, I can't see them enjoying this a great deal, but you never know. It's definitely its own thing. There's nothing else like it this year, which I think is a positive. My number 12 is Bulgaria, so I think first-time listeners and viewers might think this is really silly. What the hell is a bangaranga? That is probably what they're going to say. That is probably what Graham Norton is going to say. This is Dara with bangaranga for the returning Bulgaria. This is a really solid effort. The national final was a bit all over the place. It was in 3 stages. Don't really know what the hell was going on there. But nevertheless, she's a pretty big star. She's not a bad vocalist, beautiful woman. And this song is fairly catchy, albeit maybe a bit irritating at the same time. What I don't enjoy about this song is, like with Poland to an extent, it's not really sure what it wants to be. It's quite up-tempo, then it slows down a little bit, and then it goes up again. It's a very up and down sort of song, and you're sort of being tossed left and right for 3 minutes. You're not really sure where you stand with this one, if you see what I mean. I do enjoy it. I think live it could be very good. She's opening the second semi-final. I think this is a likely qualifier. In the final, it remains to be seen. I cannot imagine the juries will go big for this, but you never know. My number 12 is Bulgaria. How long have I been recording for? 30 minutes. Well, I'm going to try and race through these remaining tracks. My number 11 is Australia. Some people think this can win. Maybe it will win. Who knows? If the other major contenders slip up, Delta Goodrum could be our queen of Eurovision this year with the song Eclipse. After not qualifying last year with Gojo or the year before with Electric Fields, I think Australia have said to themselves, you know what, let's play it a bit safer. We're going to get one of our biggest artists with a song that maybe isn't that groundbreaking at all, but is certainly quite solid, and we'll cross our fingers and toes and hope for the best. This is likely to qualify. It's likely to do very well. The juries are going to go big for this, I'm sure. The public, they've not always loved Australia in the grand final. That is for sure. And do not be surprised if this gets a very underwhelming score in the final, in the public half of the results. However, this is going to do very well, as I just said. She's a very, very capable live vocalist. She's been around for years, toured all over the world. She knows what she's doing. That Eurovision stage will not faze her one bit. I think her representing Australia is a real coup. She's one of the biggest names involved in this year's competition. I like it. I think we all have a pretty good idea as to how this might be staged next month. And yeah, it's not super duper competitive, but it's going to do very well for itself, and I'm enjoying it. It's my number 11, Australia. My number 10, Cyprus, Antigone, former Love Island UK participant. This is Jala, another somewhat repetitive entry, it has to be said, but this will get the crowd fired up. People will have a bit of a dance to this one, lively. There will be some crowd involvement, perhaps. She will certainly try and get the crowd involved. This is going to be a very summary 3-minute performance. It's as simple as that. And I didn't think Cyprus would end up in my top 10 this year when the song was released, because we still had a long way to go. But in my opinion, this year is not the strongest. In a different year, maybe this wouldn't be near my top 10 at all. But this time around, as of right now, my number 10 is Cyprus. This is likely to be in the final, likely to get quite a lot of points, maybe a top 10 finish in the end. Who knows? We have had live performances. They've not been too bad. I'm hoping the choreography is really slick. Vocally, it's bang on the money. And that sort of happy-go-lucky atmosphere really comes through live next month. My number 9 is Montenegro. This is by some considerable distance the strongest entry they've had so far. If this is not in the final, I would be really, really disappointed. It's Tamara Živković with Nova Zora. Music video is great. Vocally, fantastic. National final performance, yeah, pretty solid. We are going to get something similar for Eurovision, which is maybe a bit of a letdown, because I was hoping that there was going to be some alterations coming this song's way. Maybe we've had the revamp, which is great. That glitchy effect at the end I think could be really effective live. You could do something very nifty with the camera work there. But yeah, in terms of the staging, it seems as though it is going to be very similar to what we had at Monty Song. Okay, fair enough. But I was hoping that there were going to be a few changes. And maybe there will be. We'll just have to wait and see. But this is really, really great. A lot of people really enjoy this one. And it's got such a good rhythm to it, you know? I don't know how else to describe it. But my number 9 of the year is a country that's never been in my top 10, Montenegro. My number 8 of the year is Greece. Possible public vote winner in the final. Possible winner of the first semi-final. It's Akilas with Ferto. Bring it. This is like you've been sucked into a computer game for 3 minutes. It's lively, it's rowdy, it's raucous. It's like Armenia, it's like Moldova, but this is arguably the best of the trio. Certainly, this is expected to challenge for the win, whereas Armenia and Moldova maybe not quite as much. We know what we're going to get here. It's going to be really quirky. It's going to be maybe a little bit comical. Certainly, first-time viewers might find it a little bit humorous. Will they understand what this song is on about? I don't really know. We will have that sort of computer game graphic scene on the backdrop at times, I'm sure. The national final performance wasn't brilliant in my opinion, but hopefully behind the scenes they're really tightening things up, really polishing things, and next month it's going to be a fantastic 3-minute performance. This is absolutely in it to win it. The first time I heard it, I wasn't too sure. I can be a little bit unsure about songs in this vein because my mind automatically thinks, wow, this is a jokey entry, not really for me. There is some substance here, absolutely, but whether that comes through for those first-time listeners next month remains to be seen. If it doesn't win, certainly top 5 in the final, I would say very likely. My number 7 is Czechia, Daniel Žižka, Crossroads. This is just fabulous. Doesn't have much of a chorus, meanders along, which might be very disappointing to some. Will it live long in the memory for many viewers? I don't really know. He has performed this live. He sounded excellent. And we've got some very big notes in this song as well. The juries, well, the first time I heard this, I thought, yeah, the juries are going to go massive for this one. Part of me thinks they still will. As for the public, I just get the strong sense that they're not going to go big for this one at all. Should be in the final, should be getting Czechia one of their best Eurovision results to date. I don't have much else to say about it. The staging hopefully will be very atmospheric, very intimate, and then, you know, the camera pans out maybe in the final third and it feels a little bit more dramatic and warm somehow. I don't really know. I'm very intrigued to see what this one is going to look like next month. My number 7 is Czechia. My number 6 is France. Yeah, there's a lot of indifference around this one. 17 years of age, born in Utah, USA, Monroe with Regarde. This is, in many ways, very predictable stuff from France. You could have said months before this song was released, we are going to have, I don't know, a young woman with some sort of opera-type effort. That's exactly what we have. A lot of people have sort of had enough of this sound at Eurovision, I guess. I've called it opera fatigue in the past. Absolutely, some Eurovision fans don't want a song with opera-type elements winning again. It's as simple as that. However, France are in it to win it. The juries will wet themselves with excitement over this one. It's entirely possible. The public score could be a big fat disappointment. But nevertheless, if the other major favourites slip up for whatever reason, France's path to victory will become clearer. She is a great live vocalist. She has performed this live and sounded very good. The staging, I don't know exactly what we're going to get. It's going to be quite dramatic and theatrical, which does sort of reflect the whole feeling of this song, I suppose. Yeah, it's I like it very much. There's that big note towards the end, which is sort of the winning moment, potentially. I absolutely understand any criticism this song gets, because it does feel a little bit soulless, I suppose. But nevertheless, my number 6 of the year is France. Moving into the top 5, really trying to get through this now. My number 5 of the year is Romania. What a return this is. Sort of old school Evanescence mixed with other bands and other music I've listened to a lot over the years. It's Alexandra Capitanescu with Choke Me. Controversy over that particular phrase, but it is what it is. This is sort of dirty rock stuff. There is energy, there is a darkness to this. She's great. She's got her troupe of musicians around her, and there's going to be strobe effects, I'm sure. There's going to be, you know, smoke and fire, and she's hopefully going to turn this into her own concert for 3 minutes, in the way that Måneskin did for Italy a couple of years ago, perhaps. Really owning the stage, really in control of everything that she's doing. I don't know if the juries are going to go massive for this one, but I think the public certainly will. This could do incredibly well in the public half of the results. The song has a lot of supporters. My number 5 of the year is Romania. And this song, the style of it, I've listened to a lot of stuff in this vein all my life, really, ever since I first got into music when I was much younger. This is very much up my street. My number 4, yes, it's Estonia. Wow, how can you have this song ranked so highly? Well, it is what it is. It's Vanilla Ninja returning after 21 years away. Back then they represented Switzerland, led the voting in the final for some time with Cool Vibes, and then they finished in 8th place or something. They're back with Too Epic to Be True. We've had a revamp. Do I like the revamp? It's all right. They've tried to make it a bit punchier, a little bit rockier in style. Is it really working? I'm not too sure. The song, absolutely. I agree with you. Don't worry, I absolutely agree with you. This is not doing anything brand new. It's not that interesting, and yet I just really enjoy it for what it is. I know this is probably going to end up nowhere and finish nowhere in that first semi-final. Estonia may be going home early. What a disappointment after finishing 3rd in Basel last year and finishing 2nd in the public half of the results. You have to say this is a big letdown. But I like this more than Espresso Macchiato, that's for sure. It's nothing really to do with nostalgia. I've been a fan of Vanilla Ninja for a very long time. They sort of disbanded many years ago, and then they came back a few years ago, released an album, I believe, and a couple of singles, and the lineup has changed ever so slightly over the years. They were in what was Ace de Laul in 2003, when Lena Kurma, the lead singer, was like 15 or something. They were all very, very young. Club Kung Fu, what a banger, worth checking it out. Probably a bit controversial these days, that song. But nevertheless, Vanilla Ninja are representing Estonia this year with a song that is not that bad. But yes, it probably isn't qualifying. And I'm as surprised as you are that it's my number 4 of the year, to be honest with you. But as I said earlier, this year, in my opinion, is not the strongest. So there we are. Moving into my top 3, and if you've been paying attention, you know which countries are left. My number 3 is Sweden. This is Felicia, the former Fröken Snusk, who probably should have been a contender in Melfest several years previously, with Unga och Fria, but didn't make the final because of the shite show voting system for the second chance round thingamajig that year. Anyway, she's back. Bit of a redemption story, this. She's got the mask, the lasers, the red lights. She's leaning out of the screen at one point. The dancers. Really, this is all about the beat and the energy, more so than the lyrics and anything else. It's all about the presentation, truth be told. And Sweden know what they're doing in this department, absolutely. Every performance in the Melfest final, in a way, is ready for Eurovision. Take what you have, copy, paste, wonderful. We're not going to get anything particularly different next month. We know how this is going to look. We know how this is going to sound. We know it's going to do very well in the final. Winning material? Only if the other major favourites mess up for whatever reason. But this will be up there, getting a lot of points from the juries, from the public. It's slick stuff. My number 3 of the year is Sweden. My number 2 is Denmark. Sorgen Toppegadlund, Förvigorhem. What a turnaround for Denmark this is. Years in the wilderness. The quality of DMGP this time around wasn't too bad. The 3 songs in the super final, all of them, pretty darn decent if you ask me. I wasn't sure about this song first time I heard it. The studio version is okay. Live, far better, which I think is really, really great, because it's not often that the live version is better than the studio version. But in my opinion, for Denmark, this year, absolutely the case. What I liked about this is, I use that word again, the energy, but the choreography was so well put together. Everything about this didn't feel forced. It felt natural. It flowed really nicely. It sort of goes along, and you sense this sort of burst of energy that's going to come forth at some point. And then in the final third, we have this release, and it's very satisfying. And he's wearing the mesh top and the black trousers, and he's got dancers, and they're all moving about, and everything is so polished and tight and sleek. It's really sleek. I think that's the right word to use about this performance. Hopefully we get more of the same next month. Denmark, I think they're in it to win it. I really do. What a turnaround after years in the wilderness. That means my winner, shock horror, like for a lot of people, it's Finland. They were my winners in 06 20 years ago, and my winner a couple of years ago with Karja. This is Linda Lampenius, world-famous violinist, ice blonde queen, strutting down the stage playing the fiddle. Will she be performing it live next month? We wait and see. And Petter Parkkonen, who's only a few years older than me, quite a sort of gruff, gritty voice. He's doing all of the singing in this, and this song is sort of pop with classical type elements. There's real drama and theatre here. It's a performance that's made for a big stage, full of power. Like with the UK, go big or go home. Finland know that they are the favourites to win. So absolutely go out there and prove why you're the favourites to win. Have flames go around the stage. Have that falling fire pyrotechnic type thing that we had at UMK. Have that sort of confessional booth type thing with flames going around it. Maybe, I don't know. I would absolutely ramp this up no end. Absolutely. Go big or go home. And, of course, Finland might not win, but if they don't win, then definitely you're looking at the top 5, if not the top 3. I think the juries will like this a lot. I think the public will like this a lot. And, that last 20 seconds or so, that where it just feels so frantic and manic almost. I've seen so many people react to this on YouTube, a lot of Americans as well, and they're just loving it. You know, they're absolutely loving it. So the signs are very promising, to say the least, and it could be Helsinki or Tampere 2027. We will wait and see. Anyway, that's it. What a ramble. 45 minutes I've been talking for. Goodness gracious me. It's time I shut up. One thing I will say before I do wrap this video up completely is that it's been a fairly stressful couple of weeks for me with things behind the scenes, and I think over the next few weeks I'm going to be very busy with non-Eurovision related matters as well. I will try and film as best I can, of course, the week of the contest as well. There will be a lot of videos from me, all being well, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy, potentially more stressful time for me coming up fairly soon. So I will try my best. The next video you see from me will probably be why blank should win Eurovision 2026, and there may be 2 videos like that this year. And then, before you know it, the rehearsals will begin, and there will be semi-final predictions and what have you from me at some point in the next couple of weeks. But that is it. Hopefully you can respect my opinions, as I will with yours, regarding my top 35 of the year. It will change somewhat here and there between now and probably mid-June when I say that's enough. Until next time, thank you very much for watching and sticking with me. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, have a drink, and bye for now.